Good evening.
Hello.
I keep saying I have to stop saying that. Good evening and welcome to another night of Shadow Whispers in the night. We're doing it on a Friday night and not a Saturday night.
Ooh, that's
It is
good,
different.
eh?
It is different tonight because one has to do an investigation tomorrow night. So I said, let's do it tonight. Let's do the show tonight. So how are you keeping, my dear one? How are you keeping?
Good. I'm good, as you can see. Just bored today.
I'm loving the hair. I'm loving the hair.
That's boredom for you.
I like it. I'm blue, you're purple. I'm blue, half grey, half everything else, and you're purple.
Oh yes. Oh yes. And we've both got our Halloween stuff on.
Of course.
Can't see mine, but yes, I have my witch top on. A match.
And it matches your hair.
It does, doesn't it? I just noticed
Love
that.
it. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm going to say hi to a few people. I'm going to say hi to Chris. Hi, Chris. Thank you for being here. We're going to say hello to Adam Ramos.
Hello.
We're going to say hello to Pamela. Good evening, Pamela. I'm delighted you're here. I'm delighted. I'm going to say, how are you?
Julian.
How are you? Jenny, no, every time I see it, I was like, how are you? So tonight we have an awesome guest.
We do.
A personal friend of yours too. I am looking forward to this one. I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to read out a bit of a bio, and it is impressive, and so I'm looking forward to tonight. I'm looking forward to tonight. Are you?
Oh yes, because I can see you inside of Beth now, not a work inside.
Poor Beth. So I'm going to give so Beth Donaldson is who we're interviewing tonight, and she jumped in at the last minute. So I'm going to read a little bit of a bio. So with Beth Donaldson, with almost 15 years active paranormal investigation experience, Beth is a wealth of knowledge and a valuable contributor to the field of interest. Having started her journey while living in the UK, she then moved to Australia and joined a paranormal investigation team. With her own vision for education for the middle level investigator, she decided to branch out on her own as an independent paranormal investigator, and Access Paranormal was born. Originally a website for the Australian paranormal field, it's since branched out to one of the leading online learning websites for investigators around the world. Equally passionate about events, Beth has hosted many information talk nights right up to hosting international guests. I'm going to say, I hope I get this right. The King Liege. I think yes. Just correct me if I'm wrong, brothers. Along with the Paranormal Australian Paranormal Society, Beth's an international speaker, Paracon Australia, Scarefest, Las Vegas Paracon, and Skepticon Australia, ASSAP, and featured author and podcaster, as well as being a qualified trainer and assessor. She has studied with the Rhine Institute. Oh, I know that place. Wow, I do know it. I have it. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I like that. And the School of Parapsychology. Is a member of the society. I'm going to get this word wrong because I always do. Okay, you're gonna have to correct me there, girl. You're gonna have to correct me. Research. You're gonna have to correct me. And Ghost Club and ASSAP, Association for the Scientific Study of Anomalous Phenomena. Am I saying that right? I am just so bad. Today has been a long day. So I'm going to bring on the fabulous Beth. I am looking forward to this.
It's wordy. I know. It's a wordy bio. I put you on the spot.
It's perfect. It's perfect. And some of the words about me was reading Society of
Psychical Research.
Psychical.
Yeah, I know. It's just
for me today has been a day. Today for me today. Oh my goodness, Tracy, you're gonna have to take this one over tonight. Thank you for being here, Beth, and welcome, and thank you for being here tonight with us. You're so good. I'm so looking forward to it.
Me too. Really good.
Can I just ask you to show everyone your cup?
It is late in the night here, so it's Friday night, obviously, as you know, so although it looks quite it's sort of innocent here, so I'm having the team's meeting with work, and what does that say? Hang on a second, hang on, it says
I need that cup for every morning.
It's my cup of choice. So yes, sometimes
Love it.
certain words.
Oh,
won't
I have one actually that I don't think I can show. I do have one. A friend of mine, Steve, sent it over to me from the UK for my birthday. I'll show you later what it is, but I don't think I can show you now. Gillian saying Tilly's gone off to her granny's for the weekend. Oh, Tilly's her dog. Oh my gosh, Tilly's like her baby. I love Tilly. It's fabulous. She's a Rottweiler. She's fabulous. Welcome. That's Adam. Adam's fabulous. Adam's fabulous. Looking forward to this. Going to be very interesting. I know. There's a lot in it. Where do we start with you, Beth? Where do we start in all of this bio? Where do we want to start?
Gosh, it goes anywhere. I think I'm, as from the bits of information that was there, I'm very passionate about people being able to, that they kind of get to a point where they're learning that, they've been to a couple of events, they want to get to know a bit more, and they've kind of, it may be a year or two into it, and they go, I don't want to just be doing a couple of ghost hunts. I want to go the next level up, but I'm not an academic, and I kind of really feel passionate. There's a lot of people in that kind of, and I call it the middle ground investigators. So I think that's where my biggest passion is kind of finding information, because all that academic stuff is great. It's really useful. There's research, there's experiments that have been happening for hundreds of years, but the way in which it's written is something that makes me look like I've eaten a lemon. So
Lord.
Yeah, I'm not an academic person, so I don't have an academic background, but the information is very valuable. So for me to break it down and simplify, and people go, oh, layman's term. I was like, no, it's just simplifying it. That's all it is taking the jargon out and saying, this is what happens if you do this or this in certain parts of science or certain parts of psychology, which can really help us as investigators with possible paranormal phenomena. So
that's it. And exactly what you said, when they say the big, and I'm going to say the big words, and and I don't have any to my mind right now, but it's like you say, simplify it, make it easier to understand, because I know we do know what we're doing to some point, but for the ones that are starting out, or the ones that are still in the field a long time, it still has to be broken down. Oh, look, Adam loves
the accent. Someone said the other day when I did an interview, said, oh, it sounds like Kylie Minogue. I thought, man, I've been called worse than that. I'm not going to take it.
Can you sing a song for us, Beth? Can you sing especially for you?
Especially for you.
You can be Sydney version.
Huh?
You do the Jason Donovan bit, and Beth can do that, and I'll just watch.
I was going to say, who's going to be Jason? Who's going to be Jason? I'm saying there are a lot of you all. So we have Australian, we have Irish, and we have English. What a fabulous combination of accents.
We could solve the world's problems, seriously.
Listen, we could sit here with a Guinness and throw a shrimp in the Barbie.
We'll be well away.
And then Tracy, you can bring. What can you bring?
I'll just bring the music.
You're going to bring ska.
Reggae almost.
Reggae ska. Really? See, could you imagine the combination?
Yeah.
And this is why the best thing about doing something like this is speaking to everyone from around the world. It's brilliant. It really is. You some people only dream of doing something like this, and I love it. I really do. And then sometimes when I listen to it, no, the non-alcohol one. No, Adam, nope. Oh, we can get one for you, but for the rest of us, nope.
Yeah.
Nope. I know Adam was telling me a long time ago that there was non-alcohol Guinness, and I'm like, blasphemy. That's blasphemy. Who thought of that? Who thought of non-alcohol Guinness? No. I suppose it's nice for people who don't drink that want to try the taste of Guinness. Tracy's saying no. Tracy, I always say to Tracy, she's a face that she doesn't have to say anything. She just, Oh, you can read her face. Is that me? No.
Oh, that was me for some reason. I've cut out.
So, starting off now, Beth, like when you were getting into the paranormal field, how do you work? I know you work scientifically wise. Do you use equipment? Do you go by yourself? Do you use a little bit of both?
I'm consider myself an independent paranormal investigator. And originally when I started saying that, a lot of people, I got a bit of backlash from that because people automatically thought I just went into locations completely on my own and risking my own life, which is not the case at all.
Yeah.
You know, you work with other teams, you work with other groups, you work with other professionals, and it's to me, I just love the flexibility of that. So that's generally how I work in that avenue as such. I've been in a team for about 1.5 years in the beginning. It was great grounding. I suggest it for a lot of people, like with you guys, as you can imagine, people asking you, what's the best way to start out? It's great joining a team because you get a lot of experience, you get to understand different roles that you might kind of want to specialize in a certain area. Like say, for instance, as you mentioned, you know, some people more equipment based, some people really love the history. So it's good having people finding their niche in that regard as well. As far as how I work, the only times I ever really use equipment is to monitor the environment. That's how I generally do. But there are times also in investigations, and as Tracy will know, is where I get in. I'm like, okay, right, let's try some, you know, they call it Victorian seance style stuff. Let's try some mediumship. Let's try some, you know, sort of scrying, or let's look at some dowsing and all different things like that. Because I think it's not something I would traditionally go into a private case with. Of course, it's a whole different kettle of fish. But when it comes to different locations, let's try different stuff. Let's see what results we get. I think it's always good to be open-minded about that. I think if we start shutting off and just, you know, doing it one specific way, you know, mine's like a parachute. It works better when it's open. So yeah,
absolutely. That's a great way of saying it. That's a great way, because I was that person that would be, okay, I want recorders, video, camera only, and that's it. Everything else doesn't work for me. Now I'm getting into branching, opening up more to say, let's do it. Let's try it. Let's not be that type person where I'm kind of strict and whatnot and what I use. Now it's kind of like if somebody has an idea, I say, let's do it. Let's do it. You know, I have the dowsing rods, which I love. I'm beginning to use the pendulum as well. I know Gillian was telling me about the pendulum and showing us how to use it and so on. I didn't know a lot about it. I have the dowsing rods. I got as a fabulous gift from Rosemary, and I'm going to be using them. I'm going to be using them tomorrow night. So
I can't use them. I end up standing there spinning them.
Listen, she puts them on herself and she spins them.
I'm staying away from you next month.
Honestly, dowsing rods, I don't know.
You see, but that's it. I didn't know a lot about them, but I'm prepared to try them, especially to locations that you know, and not only that, but locations that you don't know as well, that you can look up afterwards. You note everything down, write everything down, and look it up afterwards.
Yeah.
If somebody goes into a location blind and not knowing it, and I'm saying it, love how you explained that, Beth. And that's a fantastic way of explaining it. That is a fantastic way of explaining it. What would be, and I'm going to say equipment one more time, what would be like if your go-to piece of equipment?
Voice recorder.
Oh, Lordy, I love you. I have them all over the place. I love voice recorders. Why do you love the voice recorders?
It's recording. I mean, it kind of ties it also a little bit with video recorders, but more so voice recorders because they're easier to carry around. You can track what people are doing. You can track what people are saying. I've had a couple of interesting things come up audio-wise over the years. I don't get a lot, and I always joke about the fact that, you know, I don't shut up long enough for anything to come through. So a bit of a joke with the fiance. But it is...
Really?
Really. How do you get that impression? But it's more of a recording of the environment, where people are, what's happening, and sometimes things do come up that you can't explain. But like with you say you have a lot of them, so you would probably use them a couple in a room. So, you know, that fascinates me, where one will pick up something and another one does not, or they both do, and then the third one doesn't. And then you think, oh, is it in the center? Is it around? Is it, you know, and then of course, as we know with the paranormal, it's, you know, a rabbit warren. You start asking all other questions about how that can happen. So yeah, I'd have to say voice recorder.
Yeah.
What is because I am all about the voice recorder. I am all about the voice recorder, and I'm about other stuff as well, but the voice recorder is anybody who knows me will know I'm about the recorder. Did I say that enough times? No. Did I say it again? But I know when we go through audio and so on, what was one piece of audio that kind of blew your mind? Because I know I have bloody many, but what was the one that kind of blew your socks off?
One that I've recorded, or is it one
Yeah.
that I've heard? See,
One that you've
I've
either.
recorded it. I think for me, and unfortunately, I don't have a copy of it because it was a program that I was involved in, a recording of a production, and we were in Hungary. And
Lovely.
no, it wasn't Hungary. It was Slovakia. My mistake. So it was Elizabeth Bathory's castle. And we were in there at the time, and I'm thinking nothing's going to happen here. You know, it's dark, it's starting to rain a bit outside. So, of course, as you can imagine, when it comes to rain, it makes things a little bit more difficult to try and listen in sometimes, particularly in a half-ruined castle, as you do. And what you do on a Saturday night. And there was this strange sound, and we are on, like, the castle is up on top of a hill, and we'd been there for hours beforehand, scouting around, listening in, getting used to it. There's no traffic, there's nothing. You're you know, a small a village and town, and we're all looking at it. Was not a stomach thing. We all investigate. Like, it wasn't like you know your body at 3 a.m. So like it's not me. And that was probably one that I was sitting there thinking, where did this come from? It's such a strange sound, and had never heard of it since in the whole time we were there. So that's probably the one that's probably really intrigued me the most. Yeah,
we must swap audio. We must swap audio, because I know I've wrecked Brian's head, I've wrecked Tracy's head, I've probably wrecked everyone's head what audio is saying. But listen to this. Can you not hear it? Can you hear it? And some of them are just crazy. I know you and Tracy have worked together before. You have, and you're going to work together again in
next
November.
Month.
Yeah, in November. Can you tell me a little bit about your experiences together, working together?
Goodness, there's been a couple of them, haven't there, really, Tracy? It's like we've had some interesting experiences, some vibes, some sounds as well. I mean, I know you've got some in the back of your mind, if you want to explain a bit more.
Oh God, blimey, which one? Because we had the library, we had the library where we had we had young lad with us who worked on site, was petrified of the place, wasn't he? Literally petrified. And it was like the basement, wasn't it? And he had his office in there, and we had the spirit box going, and his name got called out. Really, really clear, wasn't it? He was really, really nervous, and we was like, me and Beth were like, no, it's fine, honestly, like, you know. And he asked her name, and she gave her name as well, didn't she?
Yeah.
And yeah, so that gave us something to work with. But yeah, that was a good night.
Yeah.
I'm just sharing out here. Sorry, guys, I'm just sharing out here.
We also had. Was you in the gym room when there were weights lifted up?
No, but I heard of it. I think I came in just after that vigil happened. I thought, oh, because I heard people, they said they heard the clink. So, you know, when you put the weights down, it's like clink.
Yeah, it was a proper. And then, I'm trying to think what else we've had. Oh,
There's been lots. We've had you know, spirit sessions and all sorts of stuff, and people coming through and picking up us in lights and all sorts of things. So we've had some extensive experience. No, but we've had some extensive experiences.
Exactly. So, yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, even just not that, just like some of the things that we've done. Like the other week, we was on a location, and you know, the stairs alone, you had to have a step ladder to climb one step. I mean, and I think me and Beth finally got up the stairs to the chains that were hanging, and we were like, we made it.
That's right.
Well, that was for like them stairs. But I didn't get to go back up there that night. So, we had
another time. Would be good. Some good stuff. Good experiences.
Yes. And I actually think Chris, who's in chat, Chris Gow, he's been with us. He was at the library. Chris Cole. So yeah.
Of course. Some good
times.
Yeah.
Sorry, just sharing that out. I have a question here. Oh, thank you, Brian. I have a question here from Adam. Is there a piece of equipment that you wish you could create for the paranormal world?
That's such a good question.
No, on the spot.
Oh, I would love to find a way where people can see where spirit is, because a lot of the time people can sense it, maybe hear it, think they've seen it. So for me to be a whatever that is, to be able to see something there. Most of the time, we think, that there's haunted locations and we go to them and we explore them. But, a lot of people realize, and a lot of mediums have told me over the years, that spirit is everywhere. So you could turn this on, while you're walking down the street and you think, oh,
it's like a movie.
It's
like a movie, 13 Ghosts. There's a movie out many years ago, 13 Ghosts.
That's it, running through.
You put these goggles on and you can see them walking towards you. You can see them. And I mean, if that could be made, that would be great.
I would love it. I'd retire.
That's what I was going to say. We could retire. Our job is, my work here is done. We can be finished. But that's in a movie called 13 Ghosts. I think that's in the movie. Yeah, where they get all locked into a house.
Yeah, because the bloke made it, didn't he? And then he got his family into it, didn't he? That's right. Yeah.
He locked them all into it.
Yeah.
And then, oh my gosh, there was, I remember I was watching it. I watched a great movie today called Mama. Good movie as well. I want to talk about the seminars that you do. The seminars, like places, what you've talked about. And then you studied in Rhine and the Rhine Institute. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
That's a big thing.
It's wordy. The Rhine Institute is the wordy kind of courses and institution, I would say. The information is so valuable, but like I'd mentioned before, it can be sometimes really full on, like macro PK, micro PK, things like this, and understanding the difference, and and then trying to break that, not say trying to break it down, but just say, what is it? Like what's, in simple terms, what is it? It's almost like I kind of get a bit impatient, like, come on, man, stop with the fluffy, just give me the balls of it, basically. It's like, I just want to know what it is, instead of, the terminology is like, it just, kind of goes over your head. But I do love the Rhine Institute. I think their courses are brilliant. Lloyd Auerbach is amazing, a lovely guy. And he, as far as when it comes to parapsychology and learning, his way of teaching is actually really down to earth. So it does have an element of academia in there. Yes, it will always have that. It's parapsychology, but his courses, like for something like that, are actually quite easy to understand. They're full on. I did the intro to parapsychology, and it was good, but you've got to keep on top of it. You have to make that time, and it's that commitment as well. But after a while, you start to me, I would watch because you can watch them live, the lectures each week, or you can watch the pre-recorded. And what I would do is I'd watch the post-recorded one. Yeah. And I would stop at each time of every slide thinking, hang on a second, I think I've got this. And I would write my own notes about how I understood it. That was the only way I was actually able to pass it, because it was just all the same. Of the language, which is fine, and that's great. I would have gone over my head and I probably wouldn't have passed.
That's the thing, because I know, like I said, I want to do something like that, but it's the wording of it that I'm thinking, take it down for people like me. Take it down a notch, speak my English, speak my terms, I would have, like you, I would have to watch the pre-recording and watch it and then look up what they're talking about and break it down so I can understand what's being said, so then I can continue on with the learning. Yeah,
that's exactly right. I mean, I remember watching an SPR, Society of Psychical Research lecture on this. It starts with an S, and I can't remember the pronunciation for it, but it's a term where people feel like they're being stared at. And there's studies in it, and there's studies and research in how our bodies work when we feel like we're being stared at. So then you start to think, this would be really interesting when it comes to when you go into haunted locations, how you feel you're being stared at. Is it because you're detecting something from a primal area, where it comes from something, and that's when you start to see all this academia starting to come in, match into the stuff that we do, or, once a month or once every couple of months or twice a month, going into these locations, you start to see little correlations. You think that's really interesting. I wonder what they found with that. So it's all that kind of stuff, which I love.
Would it be like a gut feeling? Would it be like a gut feeling? Would it be like your senses that, like you were saying, like people are you feel like someone is staring at you, but then nobody's staring at you, but you have a feeling that, would that be part of it, where you're kind of thinking, no, I'm just kind of in my own head.
Yeah, a lot of the time you are right. It's almost like the thing where there's so many times that you're sitting on the tube, on the train, on public transport, you suddenly look up and look straight to the person that's been looking at you without even knowing it. It's that instinct that we all have. And that's why I think, oh, imagine then seeing how that works when you're in a place that's possibly haunted. And how am I detecting it with that, but that I can't see what's looking back at me. And I think, oh, I need to find out more about how my body works and how my brain works,
And then that's when you ask questions saying, is there somebody in the room with me? Can you, you can touch me if you want to, talk about your recorder. Yeah, just, touch me if you want to. And what did you say? It's a what?
It's a Friday night, of course.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It doesn't have to be Friday. Oh, Lord Jesus. But it's like your senses as well. It's just, God, I can't believe we did that. It's your senses as well that, like you're saying, it's that, is it a sixth sense?
Yeah. We're built to survive. We've got so many different parts in our minds and our bodies that protect us from anything that's going to harm us. So when it's in darker locations, they are all heightened. I've had more hits on one video on my YouTube channel about seeing shadows at the corner of people's eyes and the explanation for that than any other video. And that's because so many people experience it. And they're like, I'm seeing shadows. What's happening? What's happening? I said, well, it could be a lot of things. And I mentioned one time to a friend, it's like my knee hurts. If you go to a doctor, my knee hurts. What's wrong? It's like, well, there could be 50 different reasons why your knee hurts. Just the same as if there could be 50 different reasons why you're seeing shadows at the corner of your eyes.
What's it called? Peripheral vision?
Peripheral vision, yeah. Or corner of the eye. Yeah, corner of the eye.
And then when you look, it's gone. But if you look and it's still there, well, then you're onto something. But if you look and it's gone, is it tiredness?
Yes.
And I know we had a long conversation. I remember out camping on an island and we were talking about this and so on. And peripheral vision, am I saying the word right? It could be a million things.
Yes, absolutely.
If it happens again and again in the same location, in the same spot, then you could be onto something as well.
Absolutely, that's so true. And the thing is, when the light darkens in any situation, whether you're outside, inside, doesn't matter. Even if you're at home, your eyes will naturally start to sense and focus more on your peripheral than it is on what your normal sight is, because your body's built to think, I need to survive. Anything can come at me. So trying to explain that to someone goes, but I've just seen a shadow at the corner of my eye. It's like, it could actually be your body just trying to protect you, not to take it away. You've seen something, but just keep that in mind. And I have to do that as well. There's times
Be rational about it. And like we always say, fight or flight.
Yes.
Basically something like that. But be Hopi. My dog is snoring. My microphone is going to pick my dog up even more. But it's oh gosh, no, my dog took my train of thoughts away from me. Fight or flight. But if you my goodness, my dog took my train of thoughts away from me. That if it happens again and again in the same location, like I said, then it could be onto something.
Yeah, that's true. That's exactly true. And also, if other people who don't know that person's had that experience also have that experience themselves, that could lead to maybe something else going on. Or it could be, it needs further explanation, but often it can be like, obviously if there's not cross-contamination with people's experiences, then you can actually kind of build a bit of there could actually be something going on here that people can
that's it. And what I was going to say before my dog interrupted me was debunking. Not everything is paranormal. You got to be rational about it. Not everything is paranormal. There's more debunking going on than there is paranormal. And then when you get that creme de la creme, then you can say, right, we're onto something here. But not, it's like, I've seen many things in my kitchen and I know whatever's going on in my house is going on. But if my light flickers, I'm like, I need to change the bulb. I don't think something else is trying to contact me. It's got, because I'm probably, I think I need to retire. But there's a question here for Beth. What has been your scariest moment on an investigation and how did you deal with it?
I was investigating an undisclosed location. I know it sounds like I'm copping out, but it certainly exists. Well, actually, it's been knocked down now, but it was based in Australia. A particular building that was unused for probably about 20, 30 years. And I was there with the paranormal team I was with previously. And this location seemed to have what I call the spiritual lasagna. There was layers and layers of stuff going on. So there was an indigenous energy. This is what I was told from mediums. An indigenous energy going on. There was trauma because of the building that it was built there. There was angst about the property. It's like literally it was almost like your perfect storm. So we were there. We were filming at the time, which I'm really glad because it was actually captured, although I can't get a hold of that footage, which is really sad for some. And I saw one individual was sitting there down the hallway, and I was a bit further up. It was a long hallway. And there was 3 people on one end and there was 3 people on the other end, which is where I was. So obviously lights were off. There was filming down the other end and we were just observing. We were the only people in the building. And one individual was sitting there and he could hear tapping. I looked down at his foot and thankfully the audio and the camera caught it. And on his shoe, it was like tap, 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 tap. And he's looking at the other people that were with him and they're like, that's not us. You can tell we're all sitting here and you can hear it was almost like a Morse code. And then his chair got pulled out from under him. He hit the ground. He looked up. He got very angry and he ran. He ran past us in the complete darkness. Didn't know where he was going, but he knew where he was going. He was completely overtaken by whatever it was. We don't know if it was. I've investigated with this individual before, never behaved like this before, never had since. It took 3 grown guys to pull him down and stop him. One of them was a football player and had to rugby charge him, as they call it in Australia. Stopped him, dragged him outside. But as soon as he got outside, he took this big, deep breath of fresh air. He looked, because I was running out to make sure he was okay as well.
Yeah.
He looked at me. He threw up. I thought, was it my hair? No, I'm joking. And then, he and then came to. It's like he's blinking. He's like, what happened? What's going on? And because it was somebody that we investigated with for I say long time, only for about a year.
Yeah.
You get to know your team after a bit of time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was such a strong interaction of whatever it could have been, and his strong interaction and physical interaction that by the time he settled, we're like, we're leaving. And it's the only time I've ever wanted to leave a location. I've been back there many times afterwards, of course, but
that's even that night. That's crazy. Even the part where he vomited, it's something very, very strong. That part, I'd be like you. I'm like, we're done tonight. You cannot continue after that.
Yeah, I was told by a lot of mediums it's the energy transference is too quick for the body to deal with. That's why people are physically ill. It comes from the solar plex, and they just go, I'm in and I'm out. What am I doing? And often removing a person from, if you think they are possessed, possibly.
And did you know from this location? Did you know who this person possibly could have been?
Yeah. It's a particular, apparently, from what I've been told, it's a particular negative entity that tends to attack men. And only men. And I've seen 2 other guys in that location act very similar afterwards. And we've had to do the same thing to bring them back to themselves. Yeah. So it's an incredible location.
Does anybody still go to that location?
No, they can't anymore because it's been knocked down.
Oh, it's taken down. Even the land, even though the building has been taken down, even the land
is. They were going to try and build something on it. I want to double check and find out.
But even though the building has been taken down, so the building is just water, stone, it's like a case, Tracy. But the land on where the building has been built on, I'd be very curious of anybody going back onto that land.
They've never been able to sell it. They've never been able to develop on it for decades. Every time a deal gets put in, it gets pulled off. There's problems with it all the time. It's literally, there's issues after issues after issues. It's a beautiful location, but they can never find somebody that actually puts signs on the dotted line and goes through with any building or knocking anything over. But it's been knocked out now, but I don't know.
Can you walk on that plane of land? And could people walk on that plane of land and do an investigation?
Not right now.
Even though there's no roof, walls, doors, windows to it, you can walk onto that land and do an investigation.
It'd probably be under private property by now, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to go too, man. It was an incredible place. The thing is, over time, And the times I've been there afterwards, it was almost like the energy was being drained each time, to the point you'd sit there and there was nothing.
Ooh.
So,
That's
it's like, locations, like haunted locations, like, let's go to Waverly Hills Sanatorium in the United States. And after a while, people go there and there's nothing happening, because so many people over time it's almost like, I don't know, from a battery perspective, from a spiritual perspective, they must just go like, I can't keep doing this, man. So I don't know how it works on the other side, but that's what felt like it was starting to happen on this particular location.
Really?
So, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Scott is in the house. Hope he's still here. I know his signal is gone. But I hope you're still here, Scott. And I know your router probably didn't arrive tonight. It didn't arrive tonight. Very quickly, Adam saying, I helped debunk 2 things from last weekend's investigation. I felt bad about it for doing it. No, never feel bad for debunking stuff. Never, Adam. That's
you've got to have the debunking of stuff to make it work.
Debunking is all about paranormal, and it is what it is, you know. Like, never feel bad for debunking stuff. That means you're bloody good at what you're doing. Never be afraid to debunk stuff. Never be afraid. I know when I debunk a lot of stuff and people say, Jenny, what's your opinion? I'm like, well, if you really want to know my opinion, if you're not going to be offended, you know, you can ask me. But if you're going to be offended, don't ask me, because I will give you my honest opinion. Is it something? Check it out. Redo what you did before that made you think what you think it was. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You want to concentrate on the meaty stuff, like the stuff. It's really good to have a healthy knowledge of stuff that can be explained. That's every investigator should have that.
Absolutely. It's healthy. It's healthy to be skeptic. And I know I always used to say I'm a healthy skeptic, and people say, no, there's no such thing. Well, yes, there is. In Jenny's world, yes, there is. There is a healthy skeptic where you are working properly, if I can say that. If you can hear my dog snoring, let me know, and I'll mute my microphone and I'll shout at her. I won't shout at her. She's my child. I couldn't shout at her. Hopi chica mamacita. Shh. No, she's not listening to me. But no one can hear. Brian saying thank you, Beth, because that was Brian. There's so much more. Adam, it's good to debunk stuff. It's what makes us investigators real investigators. Can I say real investigators? We work long hours. We travel many miles, and we're not there. They're not circus actors or anything like that. It is, and we're grateful and blessed to get what we get on locations. We really are. I think that. There's a question here from Pamela. Sorry, Pamela, I knew you were there, but I didn't leave you last. Is there a psychological, I hope I'm saying these words, all these PHY words always getting me tonight. Cue that creates the sensation of stirring, or is it a sixth sense?
From what I believe, from the research I've read so far, it's a biological thing that we all have. We all have it. So it's definitely more from a psychological cue in the sense of outside. So it's from the research, like I said, from the research I've read, it's more from possibly, you know how they talk about PK, psychokinetic energy, where you can move objects. A lot of people are believing that it's a little bit part of that, where we're sensing something outside our bodies, and there's a lot of research to support that as well, the fact that we have an ability to sense things outside our bodies. And I think from what I've read, it actually falls into that. So again, it could be a bit of a sixth sense, but from the information I've read, it's probably more from that psychological / PK thing, where you're kind of sensing something outside your body before even knowing it. It's like kind of that sort of thing. So I know a lot of people that are sensitive, they'll pick something up before they had a chance to think about it. And that's when they know it could be possibly something paranormal. So I guess it's going on.
And it's like those things when people say, like me and Tracy, and I pick up the phone and I go to text Tracy and she goes, Bibes. I was just Bibes. And she goes, yeah, no. And I love when you always say, yeah, no. And it's like, that's how you do your sentences start off sometimes. Yeah, but yeah, no.
Yeah, but no, but yeah, but.
That's so Australian. Yeah, but no, but yeah, no, yeah.
Although my answer was the same.
Yeah, but no, but yeah. Well, I go to text Tracy and she goes, I had my phone in my hand ready to text you back. So it's kind of things like
turning up in a different country wearing the same clothes.
She did actually. She came over to Ireland in August. you were wearing, I had a top
Pink
on me,
hoodie.
and you had the same. You had a
Same.
jacket on you, and the wording was the same.
Yep.
Something was the same. Something was the same.
Yeah,
The
you had a
wording was
black
the same.
t-shirt on with the writing on the front, and I had a pink hoodie with the writing on the back, but the writing
Same
on the back
writing.
exactly the same.
Exactly. And even ringing up each other or texting each other or something like that. It's like, I'm about to call you and so on. And people are, I'm a twin. Yes, people, there are two of me. Isn't everyone just blessed? But she's more sane than I am. Maybe a little bit. But people say, do we feel pain at the same time and so on? And I said, yeah, when I punch her and I hurt my hand. I'm joking. I don't really. When I was younger, yes, I did. As I got older, she'll kill me now. But it's like the twin thing. Like I remember, gosh, she was in hospital. God, thank God I didn't feel her labor pains. So thank you.
My dad had mine.
What?
My dad had my labour pains.
Did he?
My dad, yeah. My dad.
I'm going to say wow. I'm going to say kind of good as well. A man felt the pain just a little bit.
Yeah,
just
no,
a
my
little
dad.
bit. What did he say to you?
Oh, well, I can't repeat.
Okay.
You didn't love it that
Welcome
much.
to our world, gentlemen.
Yes. But no, that's, I mean, me and my dad are that close. He actually, like my oldest brother, he had my labour pains.
That's the thing. When you're close to someone,
Mm,
when you're not close to someone, you don't feel anything.
yeah.
When you're close to someone is when you do feel something, whether it be a friend, a sister, a family member, you do feel something.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
there's
like my
Linda.
mum.
Hi, Linda.
You know, it's like my mum. She, my brother went out one night, and my mum jumped out of bed because she knew there was something wrong, and there was.
You see, it's that sixth sense that you can feel the stuff.
Oh, the dog's snoring.
I had to call her because I know she's going to be picked up on this. I'm sorry. Now listen to it, Adam. Now I would be scared of two Jennies, but then again, there is an island full of you Irish women. That's scary.
So funny.
So Adam, when are you coming up to Ireland?
Never by now.
Adam,
When
be
are you
scared.
coming to Ireland, Adam?
Be very afraid.
He knows he's a best friend up in the north in Belfast. I love Belfast, and he has a best friend down in the south. So yeah, come over to Ireland, Adam. I'll give you real Guinness. Okay. Let me. Adam, just. Adam. Adam,
Hey, Chrissy.
No, Brian. Really? I tell you, me and Brian need to have words. I bless him. I did wreck his head the other night. I did wreck his head, and I'm going to put my hand up and say it. I did annoy him in a Jenny annoying way.
Oh dear.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Hi, Chrissy.
Hooray.
Oh, Chrissy, I totally understand that. I do understand that. We all need a break from Facebook. We do.
Yes.
So when it comes to, so apart from, because I know you do science work, this is the best way to investigate. I'm all about it. I love it. I'm going to say this now and people are going to be listening and I get it. I got it. Mediums.
Mm-hmm.
How, because I'm not going to say what I think. I'm the interviewer. So I'm going to ask you the question. Mediums.
Mm-hmm.
How do you find them? And this is not for or against them. How do you find mediums? Because we have to cross the whole panel of, and there's more actually, mediums. And I know, I mean, it's like, we can do it. We can talk about it.
Yes. I think that obviously there's a big difference between mediums and sensitives. I kind of give a little bit more leeway for those who are consider themselves sensitives because it's something they're just kind of picking up and that's kind of how they are. I think on some level, on some degree, I think every person's a sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
Mediums, I'm probably really picky.
Listen, yes.
really picky. And I think there's only been one person that's been a maybe, and that's only because she was able to help out on a murder case where she was able to locate a body part that the police had missed. That
That's
was
a maybe. That's an oh my god.
Yeah, no. And she said, no, it's
Really?
definitely here. It's definitely here. And I'm like, oh, and thankfully, again, it was part of one of the documentaries that I was a part of. And
My
because
goodness.
often, sometimes like this can happen. You think, oh, no, well, you know, we've got it on written record. We've got a couple of video cameras, but this was all in a production type thing, which was really handy. And then, of course, you know, 2 years later, they came back and said, yeah, they actually found a body part in that particular area, right where she said, but even though they'd already gone through it. So, but then, you know,
gosh.
I say, it sounds funny. I might say I'm fussy. There's people I've crossed paths with that have been really good with the information they found. But again, it can so be one-off sometimes. Then you think, well, if spirit and energies are only giving you one-offs, or is it you not being able to have your communication? Like, you know, have you not got your Rosetta Stone working? Like, you know, that kind of thing. Like, how are you able to interpret what's coming through? Is it not being polished? You know, it's like there's so many answers.
It's crazy. I know I went to a few of them, and I'm very skeptical, and somebody couldn't read me before because I'm very, you know, I'm kind of like, okay, I don't know a lot about it, but I know bull crap when I hear it. But I was told about these two people where I live, and I said, okay, let's go to it. So I went, and they were good. They were really, really good. So then about 2 or 3 years ago, I went back to see them again after 8 years because they frightened me so much in what they knew back about 8-9 years ago, when I was kind of like, I was still in the field, but I'm still learning more then than I am now, but still learning. And I went to see them maybe 2 years ago, 3 years actually. And she floored me. She could not have said what she told me. Nobody knows what she told me. Nobody, and I can tell you that nobody knows what she told me. And I'm thinking to myself, can you read my mind that I just want to dissect your brain right now? How do you know this stuff? How do you know what I called someone? How do you know what I said? I just don't get it. I don't get it. That part for me is like, I'm not, yeah, like Brian is saying, in my opinion, every 10 mediums, 1 or 2 might be legitimate.
Yeah.
That's what was these two women. And I actually mailed them last week to make an appointment with them again. Stupid me, but they didn't get back to me because I don't know if they're still doing it or not. But even my mom went to them. But when I went to them, they were just like the last time 3 years ago was something that I cannot explain. I cannot explain. It hurts my head to think about it. Does that make sense? It hurts my head to think about it because I don't get it. I don't get it. They're brilliant. What do you think, Tracy? Tracy, just make a face and we'll know. What do you think of it? Tracy, what do you think, girl? What do you think?
I don't know, because everyone's different, isn't they? I don't know. I mean, I can go to locations, pick things up, and other locations absolutely get nothing. So
yeah. Not everything will be picked up and gotten, but there's some who are just BS, and there's some who are just put you in a box and put you in my handbag and take you home with me.
I have to be very careful what I say because I mean, today there's been a post put up about mediums being abused. So yeah. I don't want to get into that whole and get.
We'll talk about that later. That was an interesting question. No, I'm not going to say that word again. So no, I'm not saying it. That's the one. Yep. Q. Is that another way to say feeling that someone is watching you? Yep. Yeah, that's the one that's feeling someone is watching you. I get the feeling that on the spectrum of conveying information through the senses, how easily you can get into the zone for information to come through is the only factor that makes a difference.
Cool.
Adam is loving your hair, Tracy.
Thank you, Adam.
It is nice. What blue and purple. Chrissy, I had a dream once that my brother was drowning in a very small drain, and we found out a few days later that he'd gone out with friends and jumped in the water and got stuck in the mud underwater with his welly boots. His friend, oh my God.
And trust me, we have a lot of muddy water.
Is that like a premonition?
Yeah, that sounds like premonition. Yeah, that's more premonition than actual dream. Yeah. Wow.
So we need to talk about premonitions in a tickety boo. I'm going to say hi to Marty. What's up, Marty? Just dropping in to say hey. Hey, Marty. I hope you had a ball last night. I need to know what happened. Marty was out on an investigation last night.
Great.
So I know he was so looking forward to it. So I want to talk about that later. I want to know about it. Tracy will know the Black Jetty. My goodness. Premonitions.
Yeah.
Premonitions. And people say, we're just here, we're just human, we get through day by day, and so on and so on. And who says hi from SG Steve Ghost Hunters, hope you all staying well, Steph. We are, Steve, thank you so much. Thank you. We're doing good. Hope you're staying well and safe as well. Premonitions, everyone has them. People kind of fob them off sometimes. It's like deja vu. Deja vu is like living something that you've lived before. Premonitions is something that's going to happen. It's like Chrissy there had a premonition about something like this happening. What part of the brain makes you see something that might happen?
Man, if I had a question to that, I would never have to work.
Well, that's the question.
It's the question, isn't it? And it is. It's like you know, there's premonitions and precognition. I've had a precognitive dream, which I think is what was explained before, where I was with a group of friends, and none of them were familiar to me. You know, like it's your house, but it's not your house. These are your friends, but they're not your friends. Like you've never seen these people in your life, and you've never lived in that house. But apparently,
I wish I didn't.
That's it. Oh man, it was a way better place. And you know, there was these issues with these particular people about turning against me or being really rude and twisting stories, and it was one of those ones where it was quite strong. And so I woke up in the morning and it really stuck with me, and to the point where I actually wrote something down, which is very rare. I don't ever do that, but I felt the need to do it. I'm not sure if it's get out of the system or however it would work. A week later, the exact thing happened to me, and I remember thinking back to the dream about what happened afterwards, and it was just saying, stay put, don't say anything, don't react, even though you'll want to, and it will work out. So I did exactly that, and that's exactly what happened as well.
Oh my gosh.
So it's interesting little things like that. So as far as like from a scientific perspective, there is so much research about people. I mean, there was recently someone had predicted the timing and the date of the Queen's death. But that person also predicted when Prince Charles will pass, which is only in 4 years' time. So will that happen again? We don't know. So again,
that's a woman from like she's an elderly woman now. Yeah. Is that her?
Yeah.
She's making these premonitions, and I'm like, I don't want to know. I'm like, no evil, I don't want to hear it, because I remember that. Oh my goodness, I'm not kidding you, girls. I was obsessed with 2012. It took me over to a stupid point. It took me over to a stupid panicking point that sometimes these people who does these premonitions can really affect people who worry about this stuff.
Yeah.
And I actually emailed some, God knows who he is in America, and I'm like, I lost my bearings. And then one night in December of that year, about 2:00 in the morning, the electricity went out of the whole street in the house. I went downstairs, opened the front door, and all the seagulls were flying from one side of the house and over to my house, flying over it, all squeaking at 2 a.m. And I'm like, is this what's going to happen right now? Is this it beginning? Let me tell you, I lost the power in my fucking legs. I lost the power in my legs due to fear, because it had overtaken me. And when we're talking about premonition and so on, oh my God, I'm not used to this microphone stand, and I keep hitting it. When I was younger, I was in primary school, junior infants and something like that. And I always had a dream of the world ending, always. And every couple of years, I would have the same dream of flooding. The world is being flooded. Now, that movie Tsunami, it took me a bottle of wine to watch it, to say, I can watch it now after 10 years. Now I can watch it. And I watched it and I'm like, why did I do that? Because I'm a swimmer. I swim. I'm great. Since I've had my daughter, who's now 19 years of age, I have never once put my head underneath water, ever. You could not, I kid you not, you could not pay me to put my head underneath the water. I will not do it. If I watch movies with water, I'm like, you know, when you can't get a breath, I panic. Yeah. And I've always had a dream of tsunamis, forever and a day tsunamis. And one of my worst dreams was when a tsunami was happening and you could see the gray and the foaming of the water over the building. And I was in my bedroom, my old bedroom, and I was tying thick rope between my wrist, my two daughters' wrist, my husband's wrist. So when the water hits us, we don't get separated. And I gave them to my sister, her husband, and her 3 children. So when the water hits us, we don't separate. Everything about now to this day, you will not get me underneath water. And I've had
still comes Canvey, eh?
Sorry?
I say, oh God, you know where we are, Jesus.
Oh my goodness! Like I live in an island. You know, I'm from Ireland, and I live in an island as well. And I live on the coast. I live on the coast, but there's water, just water. And I never had it when I was younger. Like I said, in primary school, I would sit there, and I remember the teacher not waking me up, but like, Jenny, are you okay? Because I remember just the world spinning with no one on it, and blackness all around it. I was 6 years of age, maybe, thinking like this at that age. And I'm thinking, holy crap, I come from a family of 11. If I wasn't a twin, I'd say I was probably picked up somewhere and just put into this family because I'm so different. I have my blood type is nothing to my family's. I am totally different to my family. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm Rhesus O negative. And they say kind of like, you know, they say alien and whatever. Listen, I'm all of the above. I'm all of the above. And I'm going to stop waffling about it. But things like that, premonition, dreams, fear of water, 19 years. Why did it change? Why did it change? What happened that these things changed? I don't know. I don't know. I know people wanted to do past life regression.
True.
What do you reckon? What do you think of past life? I'm gonna stop waffling on. You ladies need to say, Jenny, shut shut up. I waffle, girls. I waffle. We could do this afterwards. I waffle. But what do you think of past life regression?
I'm actually pretty open to it. I'm fairly sort of balanced with a lot of things to do with the, you know, sort of paranormal topics as such. But with past life regression, I actually think, you know, the chances or the reasoning as to why we could have possible past lives, I wholeheartedly believe that is a possibility. You know, it's like when you walk into a room and you meet someone and they just get an instant connection. You don't even have to try. And you're thinking, is it a past life connection with that person?
Absolutely.
Little things like that can kind of happen. And I think, it can't always be down to synchronicity, because it's about, you know, it's a joint knowing and a joint understanding with that person as well. Like they also come back with you saying, I feel like I've known you for so long and I've only met you just like once or twice or something like that. So, you know, I think as far as past life regression as such, as far as hypnosis, I think that's very interesting. You have to be very wary about with hypnosis, because sometimes, of course, you know, there was cases in, I think it was the 70s and 80s where there was hypnotists that were going through and dealing with child abuse cases, and people who felt they had been abused as a child, but they weren't. But with the whole suggestion with hypnosis, you've got to be very careful. That's all now obviously a lot more above board. But, you know, take that part away from it. I think it's really intriguing. It's very intriguing. I think there's certainly people I've crossed paths with that I felt that, you know, I've possibly had a past life with.
Is there any place that you feel drawn to more than anything else? Any country, any place, any time that you feel, this is me?
Yep. That's why I moved back to the UK. It's here.
Yay.
Yeah,
and that's where you feel like you're at home.
Yep. I felt home. I felt more home here than I've lived. 39 years in Australia. I've lived 5 years ish
Wow.
years. Don't put the numbers together and work out how old I am. I'm like, but it's literally, I feel definitely more home here than I've ever felt in Australia. I love Australia. It's beautiful. It has been my home, but this is where my heart is. And
Oh
I've
my
always
gosh.
felt it. Always. And I mean, again, you couldn't get polar opposites with the weather, you know,
I know. I know.
all sorts of
It's
stuff. Like the
lovely. That's
weather.
why.
Yes.
Lovely.
So try say,
It's just lovely.
get out of my pub.
No.
It's
Get
great
out
as
of my
people here. But I know what you mean. There are some countries that people feel more drawn to. To me, it's always been
Yeah.
here. It's always, and ever since I was a kid, isn't just I might like it here, I might move over. I'm very lucky I've got dual citizenship because my mum was born here, but I've
Oh my
always
gosh.
felt more home here. I know I had citizenship of a country I'd never been to by the time I was 19. It was incredible. But yeah, it's always been here. It's always been here. What about you? Is there any country in the world that you've gone, that's my home?
Yeah, mine has always been Italy.
Oh, wow. I wouldn't have thought
Italy.
that.
I went, me neither. I know. I went on a holiday. I went for a wedding, actually. Gosh, my daughter's 19 now, and she's, I think she was 3 years of age when I went, maybe four. And I went to Florence for the weekend for a wedding. And and I didn't want to stay in a touristy place. I wanted to stay in a place where people lived. So we thankfully got this beautiful small hotel on a street where people lived. So I'd look out the window, they opened the wooden shutters, and I'd see a woman like kind of beating her rug, and I'm trying to call her dog from like 2 floors up. I'm trying to call her dog, and I would walk down a street on my own. Normally, if I'm in a different country, I'd want someone with me because, you know, safety and so on. I was like, nah, I got this. I'm good. Going to the pub, and the funny thing about this pub was the dartboard was on the women's and the women's toilets. The door was a dartboard, and the guys were playing darts. And I'm like, could you stop for a second? Going in. So when I'm walking out, I had to kind of like open and close the door so that they could see the light. So I'm like, please don't throw a dart on my forehead. That would be really nice, you know. And we went to the wedding was held up in the mountains in Florence in a monk's place. If I had have known then what I know now, oh my God, like this place was, I have pictures and I keep looking at the pictures and I'm like, I can't because it's so frustrating that I couldn't. But I remember going to the airport and sitting on the grass, and I started crying because we were going through the streets of Italy and of Florence, and we were sitting out eating, and it was just like going to Dublin here in Ireland, or, you know, going into town. I felt no different. And sitting at the airport, now I have a humongous fear of flying, but I sat in the grass and I started crying because I don't want to go home. I don't want to go home. I need to stay. I want to stay. I want to stay. And I remember doing a show last year, and I had 2 people on with me, and we were talking about the same thing, Italy. Going through that live, I could see, I could see, I heard a female coming in on the live that wasn't on the live. Don't know what she's saying, but she came through. But Italy is my place. I love it. Don't know why. I just love Italy. I do love Italy a lot. What about you, Tracy?
Probably Belgium.
Oh, nice.
Why Belgium?
Yeah. I don't know. See, the first time I went, it's really strange. I should have been on the Zeebrugge ferry disaster, that actual ferry, but for some reason, I made him stop the car to get out. And we got the next one over when we could. But yeah, I don't know. I've just got this thing for Belgium. I always said Belgium would be the place. And then I went over there again, and it was all the football riots. Maybe that's why. I don't know. I'm at home.
Well,
no, it just was. I don't know. I always said it would be Belgium. Yeah.
What about anybody else? Linda or Brian or Chrissy or Steve? Anybody else that's watching?
Adam.
Where do you feel? And Adam. Adam is Ireland and England.
That's because that's us.
Well,
we do it, Jen. We've got them fit up with puppet masters, haven't we? Come on.
Come to us. Come to us. Linda's saying sometimes we have dreams of tragedy that happened to us in the past life, and those traumas affect us in our current life. These are old past lessons that were unfinished. If we review the lesson and finish the learning in today's life, we can let go of the trauma.
Well, I don't know what my lesson is, because
And
I don't know what this stuff again.
that's the same thing with flying. For me, I went on a holiday to Spain on a Friday night, and I had to go the next day, Saturday evening. And I knew when I got to the airport, I do not want to fly. Now, you should see me flying. People fly with me just because they think it's funny. It's not. I have a book underneath my desk I've had for the last 10 years of an air stewardess gave it to me. Conquer Your Fear of Flying. I got to page 3 and then I stopped. But if another person tells me you're safer in the air than you're on the ground, I'm going to
punch you.
Yes. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. The flying for me, no. The I can swim and I will swim, and I just won't go underneath the water. But I love Linda.
Scotland,
Scotland and Ireland.
Yeah.
Scotland. I love Scotland. Tracy, are you close to Stonehenge?
Yeah, not too far. Couple of hours. Yeah, it's not that, it's only a couple of hours. It's lovely there.
Beth, if there
it's everywhere. I think I'm a traveller, because I think everywhere I go, I just feel like I could just stay there.
I know, because I'm a home person, but I like to. Oh God, I'm getting missed calls. I'm a home person, but I like to travel, but I love to come home as well. I like being in Ireland. I like being home. I do. I love. And there was a time when I was younger, like, Ireland, little Ireland, and I didn't like it. Now I love it. Where are you from? Ireland. I'm from Ireland. And I'm like, oh, the Lord, I'm all about Ireland. We can go round 3. You'll probably get through round 1 with me when it comes to like Ireland and we'll talk about.
See, I know what you mean, like, because like with me, like I'm proud of being an East London girl. I am proud of being East London. Do you know what I mean? But because I live in Essex, everyone goes, "Oh, you're an Essex bird." No, I'm from East London. There is a difference.
People say, "Where are you from?" I would say, "She's from London." She's from London, and my accent's crap. I said, "My friend's from East London." She don't mess with me. She's from London.
Okay, she even had me as a character on one of their nights the other week. I was like, "Oh God." Should have seen it, a guy with his pram dressed up running around.
He's still doing it. Tonight's the last night. He's still doing it. There's a question I was going to ask you, Beth. Oh my God, what was the question? What was your favorite location?
Oh, la. Does it mean like most active or just location?
We're going to go with location first. Your favorite and why?
Chernobyl.
You didn't go there, did you?
Yeah, I did. I'm 5 years ago, and I investigated the hospital.
Wow, I am so horribly
obviously
jealous.
During the day, because you can't investigate at night, because at night time you have to be out because the reactors, the nuclear plants are still working, so they're considered a risk for you to be there at night. If you're there past 10 o'clock, they will shoot you. So you're pretty much out by then.
Wow. So tell us about that.
So again, it was for the same production company. We were seeing whether or not we were able to detect the possibility of life after death in a place that's had such a strong radioactive influence, essentially, go through it, sort of thing. Certain buildings we couldn't go into for too long. We had certain times, so only 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, that kind of thing. The hospital was the most radioactive because, of course, when the reactor went off, where would they take people? To the hospital. So they literally they took people there. The firefighters that tried to take it out, they took all their clothes off, put them in the basement, and then buried the clothes. So there, and you can see that there's a massive sand mound still covering over it. So it's like, I was like, oh, I'll stay over here and I'll eat my lunch from here, this kind of stuff.
My gosh.
It's an incredibly intriguing place. As far as actually finding anything at the time, it was very quiet. It felt to me like literally whatever could have been there has gone. But then again, they spirit around all the time, so I don't know. But it was an incredible experience to wander through and see whether or not, I mean, they were worried that women who were pregnant at the time would actually have radioactive children. So sort of abortions going on in the days and the weeks afterwards to make sure that they would be okay, and obviously, but they realized afterwards, of course, over many years of research, that those children would have been fine. So,
oh my gosh,
and you're investigating in these places, so it's, again, it isn't always the nice and fluffy Aunt Maud came over in a spiritual form and said hello. These are places you've got to have a bit of a thick skin for, to go through and see and find out for yourself. But for what we found, that was very, very quiet from a spiritual perspective. There might have been a couple of things we might have picked up audibly, but again, it was so 50-50. And it was like that one time during the day we had that place to ourselves, and certain locations as well to look into. But I think out of favorite locations, because it's so iconic, I think that would have to be one of my favorites. Yeah.
Wow.
That's phenomenal. I don't know anyone that has been there, that has ever been there. What a place to go to.
Yeah.
My goodness. Jesus Louise, I'm thinking about it because I remember watching a documentary on it as well. And I was thinking of the one in Japan. I'm thinking of one in Japan.
Oh, Fukushima. Yeah, that one. Yeah. Haven't been there. Sorry.
Have you been there? Have you been there? My gosh.
But yeah, it's intense.
It was very, like you said, intense to go to such a bloody place.
And it's so literally like people just got up and left, and that's what it was. It was almost 30 years anniversary when I went there, and you see all this communist paper and posters in certain places, and it was state of the art in its time. Like, people were very proud of the town of Pripyat. They were like, "This is our town, and we're working for the nuclear power plant, and this is what we do." And for that to, for it to have had its issue, obviously exploding, and then 3 days later they go, "Well, we probably should evacuate everybody by now." Okay.
You kind of caught me on that place when I said, "Where's your favorite place?" And you said there, you kind of caught me off, like, what? You've been where? Holy Lord.
It's incredible. There's a 30K exclusion zone and a 10K exclusion zone.
Right, yeah.
And you've got different checkpoints. You have to apply with your passport months beforehand to get in, because they need to do all the background checks as well, because it's a working nuclear power plant. And you go in, and there are people still living and working there, although they're not allowed to be living there. They still work there. And you do your radiation checks when you go in and when you come out as well.
I remember watching a documentary, and they were showing you like the buses where they have to all the checkpoints and
yeah.
They just keep going. That's it. It's the Eastern Europeans. They're hard as anything. They'll just keep rolling. So
that's a big thing. My goodness.
Makes you green, doesn't it?
And makes you see life very differently.
Yeah,
it sure does. I can imagine. What was the most apart from, like, I know you told us about the one in Australia, the one that I had it in my head, like oh my gosh, the questions got out of my head. I forget.
It's all right.
I forgot a lot about it. And I was saying to you about the one that's most that you feared, and I know Brian asked that question tonight, and the one from Australia. What are you planning on doing on the 12th of November? Can I ask you? And I know you're both working together.
Oh, we are, but we can't say the location because it's very.
No, you don't have to say the location. You don't have to say
the. We will be investigating a location.
I don't know where we're going.
Oh, I do, but I can't say it because I know you don't like knowing.
Oh, then I was going to ask you then, because I know you have done private locations before, Beth.
Mm-hmm.
Homes, people's homes.
Yes.
Anything that you thought that was worrying, that was
nothing particularly worrying. It's more there was one case in Western Sydney that I thought was it was probably one of the most active cases we had dealt with. And again, it was someone's home. So, internally, you're high-fiving yourself because you're witnessing some really interesting stuff. But you literally got to be as closed as anything. Going, well, that's very interesting. I will make a note of that, and be very calm because you get to leave, and those people have to stay. And although we may love it, not everybody does. So
we ended up going away with a lot of notes, didn't we?
Oh yeah, we
Right.
always make a lot of notes when we do
Yeah.
investigating. Yeah, it's documenting, and
Mm.
like
Yeah.
you say, Tracy, people don't realize often they go, I want to go investigating and I want to get stuck into it and go into these places and have experiences. But that's all great and wonderful. You can have personal experiences, no problem. Enjoy it, have fun. But then what are you going to do with that information? Where's it going to go? Like, make a note, put it down, because you never know if it's going to contribute to something later where someone's like, actually, I've had the same thing.
And
So
it's
Exactly.
like people's views of what a paranormal investigation is. Like that gets me, because they think they're going to go somewhere, and we're literally going to be there conjuring up, as tables flying across the room, or someone's doors flying open. And when you say to them, well, no, it's not actually. You're going to be sitting there. If that was to ever happen,
yeah,
fantastic, bring it on. But these shows in America, no offense to anyone on the show, but they're just like, give us 28 days in a location where the doors all fly open and the lofts all shut.
Well, that's the thing. That's the 28 days haunted.
Yeah.
First one was okay. The first one was okay. I've only gotten to episode 3. I haven't watched the rest of it yet, but I will watch it.
I got to episode 2 and was that enough?
I will watch the rest of it just because I have to. I have to. I will see. I'll watch. Maybe I'll watch it. Maybe I'll see.
For me, I couldn't, because I'm seeing the shadows, and I'm saying to Ray, like, they've obviously got other crew in there, not just
Yeah,
a lot in there, because you can see the shadows on the wall and things like that. And then you got the team going, just see a shadow walking across. Like, no, that's the person that's up there filming you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I know.
I know they've got the other guys in their base room, wherever they're planted, and the other 3, but we're not stupid. We know there's other cameramen on there, and you're just like getting caught. So for me, I can't wait. But to say to people, that's not an investigation. That don't happen. It just don't happen.
No, we don't do it like that.
So true.
No, we don't. We don't. Well, we don't. We just don't. When you're on your own, you're on your own, and that's it.
Yeah.
Chrissy is saying, what got you all into investigation to start with? Did you have an experience that made you follow up and get into investigation?
My dad had a beautiful, beautiful old house in a place called York, but in Western Australia, and it's about an hour's drive from Perth, which is on the west coast. And I love old buildings and that sort of thing. And I believe it or not, there was actually a paranormal team, probably about maybe 10 years ago, that actually went through and actually had some experiences themselves. So I'm like, oh, I'm really glad it wasn't just me. So and I was only 16 at the time, so only a few years ago. So
oh my goodness, yes,
I'm terrible. And my sister and I were asleep at the time, and we heard something bang. And I thought it sounded like a picture falling. And it didn't really stir me as far as like, oh my God, it could be something paranormal. I'm like, oh, you kind of just pass it off. I'm thinking, I just have to say something to Dad in the morning. And it woke obviously my sister up, and I looked over and she's like, I'm like, went back to sleep. And then in the morning I said, oh, look, Dad, there was a loud bang. I said, I think one of the pictures have fallen from the picture hook or something like that. It just sounded like that. Because, sweetie, we just had all the walls painted because there's nothing hanging anywhere, because there's nothing sitting anywhere. I said, what do you mean? Because there's nothing anywhere. And of course, then you start to laugh, because both my parents are very skeptical. So they're like, oh, ghost stories. I bet you're having a bit of a laugh about that. And I'm like,
no, look at me.
But again, like I've probably with you guys as well, it's always been there. It's always been a fascination about how objects could possibly move on their own, or how people could know stuff about other people that haven't been told, have never met before, never will again.
That's what got me into it.
Oh, I loved it. I was just fascinated by, like, how can this happen? Because this shit is happening. And I love the fact it's happening. I don't know how, but I'm going to find out in my own way.
Mine started, my mum went to see a medium again. And I went with her.
What did you say again?
Again, my mum. I used to that was just a thing I used to say my mum and nan. But yeah, she went and I went with her, and she said, to me, I've got your brother with me. And I just laughed. I was like, no, mate, he's indoors. And so she was like, no, you're a twin. No, I'm not. My brother's indoors, like he's younger than me. But no, it turned out what actually happened was on my mum's medical notes. My mum was actually pregnant for 11 months. So she'd fallen pregnant, lost one, fell for me. If I'm getting this story wrong, she will tell me because she'll be on the phone to me later. But she lost one, but fell for me. But they obviously did. Back then there wasn't things like scans and that. So yeah. But it was when I was born they realised that
Wow.
And this medium said to me, "You are going to see your brother," and described my dad, my face, my dad, and she said, "And the only thing you're going to remember seeing is his piercing blue eyes." I literally went in bed of a night like that. I didn't want to. I was imagining just waking up and just seeing these eyes. And she said to me, "When you go home, take the bottom drawer out your wardrobe." She said, "Because you got fitted." She described my flat. And when she said, "He's left a gift there for you." And when I took the bottom drawer out, there was a £20 note there. And things like my lights used to come out, smash.
Really?
Something wrong with the lighting, but it got to the stage now that he gave himself a name so that I would know who he was. And a few times he has come through and people say his name, but I now know when he's around because the lights will
flicker.
Come out. No, they fall out, smash.
Wow.
If he wants me to not go somewhere or do something, the light bulbs will come out and smash in front of me.
Wow.
Oh my God.
A warning sign he gives me is the smell of cannabis. So if I'm on a location...
That's not a bad thing.
I don't like the smell of it. I hate the smell of it. But yeah,
I don't like the smell of it, but...
Yeah, we've realised that when there's something that I shouldn't go near, I start to smell that because that is a smell that makes me want to walk the other way.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that's what got me into it, was my mum going and telling me I was a twin. And then certain things started happening and I'm like, well, why is that happening? And why, yeah, that's what got me.
Nice.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Mine was weird. Mine was, I don't know what mine was. I think I need to be put under to talk, well, not to talk about mine. I don't know what it is, but when I was younger, the usual, you can hear stuff outside. You can see stuff. I looked at my bedroom window, I could see stuff and so on. And then there was one night in November, coming home from my friends. See, when I do this, one night in November. Now, this is not going to be an Irish long story, but I'm going to make it very fast. There was one night in November, I was coming home from my friend's house. My front lawn is long, and I was walking up with my brother's friend, and I put it was a cloudless night, November night. Just stars in the sky, cloudless night, nothing to look up for. For some reason, I put my left hand on his right shoulder, and I said, "What's that?" And I pointed up, and he started saying, "It's the banshees, it's the banshees." And I told him to stop and be quiet. So there was nothing in the sky to look up at, like nothing. So I went into the house and I said to myself, I could have been about 15 years of age at the time. And I went into the home and I said to my sister about this stuff and so on. And she looked out and she goes, "Everyone comes in." Then there was a big kerfuffle in the family. Pick up my mum from work. People coming. And it's like making it into a big thing. And I was that child that was, the rest were like, there's cartoons on TV and they're looking at it. And I'm like, can you not see what I see? So I'm that child, I'm that person that's kind of like, no, I'm seeing stuff. They all see it. They've all seen it. So we live on a main road, looked out, there's a factory across the road from where I lived. And there was three things, and I say this a million times, three things, and they looked like a round and went into a tail. Three of them, two on one side, one on the other. And we were getting a porch built outside the front door at this stage. So it wasn't fully finished, but the brickwork was going up. And my house was facing up and the factory was to the left. And we were a corner house. And you have the main road to the left. Anyhow, there's a hedges across the road. So you have two of them, one here. Then they go floating up and down like this. And then they go missing into each other. And then before you know it, then you'd have two this side and one this side. And they go floating into each other. And everyone is standing, adults. I know my sister's 2 friends. One had lost her mom that night. We had lost our brother-in-law's brother that week as well. And her other friend had lost her dad that week as well, or that night. So we were all standing outside looking at them, not knowing what they were. I think at one point, one of the girls came in who lost her parent that night and gave me I was told to get a bag to breathe into, because I knew something is not right. Something is not okay. We were all standing outside looking up to this side, watching them floating into each other, floating in. And they looked like the color of cigarette smoke. They were so big, because if they were beside you, they were small because it came down near us. Up in the sky, they looked big. They looked round and long, cigarette smoke color. So there's a hedge there anyway, and one came. We were all looking over and talking. My sister's friends came over, picked my mom up from work, and all this commotion. We were all outside at one point. One shot down through the hedge that you could see the light through the hedge and shot back up. If you blinked, you would have missed it. You would have missed it. I am now, whatever age I am, I'm not going to say, I almost said it, but I copped onto myself there very quickly.
God, what is it with you lot with age?
just less than just not doing it. But it happened so fast and so quickly. The adults was pushing us behind to get into the house. Yeah. To get into the house. It went down, over and up, as if to say, we are real. Yeah. What? And then after that, after they had said, this is us, whatever, everyone went home and disorientated and so on. I went to bed. I fell asleep. I was crying so much. And I was told later on that night, oh, it's just on the radio. It was like spotlights from Dublin, spotlights. And I'm looking at my sister to say, don't kid a kidder. Don't kid me. I'm not stupid. And I'm like, no. And to this day, she'll still say the same thing. Or she might change her mind now. But I know what I saw. And that for me was, I don't know. I have no words. Normally I'm never stuck for words, but that was.
Now I know where the tinfoil hat come from.
Yeah, I know. Totally, completely. And that was something that was phenomenal. That was, oh my bleeping God, like what the frick was going on here?
Was when we went to that library, like we came out of this door onto this glass roof, because there was some, I don't know, but do you remember, we was inside and the light kept coming on outside.
That's right. Yeah, one of the sensors.
Yeah, but it was actually censored lights, wasn't it? Yeah. But the outside one kept coming on, and there was no one out there. Yeah. And it was a glass roof. And when we was in the room underneath it, like before, I kept looking up. Yeah. And I didn't know why. And then as soon as we went up there, the guy that was with us, he had to actually unlock the door for us to go out there. So we don't know why that light kept coming on. And I knew while we was out there, though, I must admit.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, the policemen were lovely.
What?
Yeah. It was a police station. Next to us.
Was it?
Yeah. Yeah. They said if we made enough noise, they'd come in. We did try. Didn't work.
Next time.
My goodness.
Next time. It's crazy. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It is mad.
This one is from Tan. Can't wait to get you on you and Aoto in Film, Tracy. Stoked to be part of this, and I was scared.
Yeah.
Yes. You see what you started.
Yeah, Tracy's pretty scary.
I am very
yes.
scary.
Have you worked with Tracy before, Tan? Have you worked with Tracy before? Oh my goodness. Oh well, Tan, just she's good. She's good. Trust and believe. Trust and believe. She's good. We have been there. What is one of your places that you'd love to go to investigate? Of all the places in the world. Now I know Brian, if you're watching, I'm taking your question again. Because Brian gives out to me, and he doesn't give out to me, but he's like, I said to Brian, I'm going to rob your question. If you had all the money in the world, what location would you go to and why? Sorry, Brian.
Tower of London. Tower of London.
Tower of London.
Yep, I go there because it's such a centered place in this country as far as a lot of history. The fact that it's so exclusive because it's owned by the Crown, so no one's getting in there.
Yes.
I get all the witness statements from the airmen that live on the premises and stuff. I get all their, because they obviously have shoes happening in their place. Guarantee they would absolutely, not horrible, Amityville horror house kind of stuff, but they would be having something.
Yeah.
The twin, the towers, the twins, the disappearing twins.
Towers.
I go into the torture areas.
In the Twin Towers.
Oh my God, there's just like you would spend months in that place, so that would, if money wasn't an issue and I was extremely influential, I would be aiming for that.
That's awesome.
I have to get my dad, Beth, get some stories off my dad because he used to, sounds crazy, be the milkman in the tower for the Tower of London. Yeah.
Did he?
Yes.
Tracy.
Yes.
Tell us.
Well, I'd like to ask him
if
he can remember, because obviously since he's out, but I will ask him because he told me some things about when he used to deliver the milk and that. Yeah.
Early morning deliveries and all sorts. Yeah, I'd love it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Where would your place be, Tracy?
Oh, for me, it would have to be the Suicide Forest.
Yeah.
In Japan, nice. Yeah.
I don't know if I could do it.
It's one place I'd like to go to find out why that particular forest. Is there this, like they say there is there this spell that was put on it? Is there something more? For me it is. I mean, a lot of people say Auschwitz, but for me, I couldn't step foot there for family reasons. I couldn't do it. I think, the Suicide Forest for me is the one, because I want to understand why. I think because suicide's close to me anyway. So I think for me, it's something I want to, is there this spell on it? Is there, and if I go, would I come back? Would anyone that goes there, do they come out alive?
I was going to say that to you. Do you not, it could change you being in that place physically. It could change you.
Yeah, it could. But then that could happen to any of us at any location.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's like he was offered that job at Auschwitz. He refused it point blank because Mummy couldn't go with him.
Yeah.
But like for me, I know I couldn't cope with going there. Not even for a holiday, like visit. I couldn't cope with that because I know.
Well, I did. Well, yeah, I did want to go to it. I did. I think I'd be too angry. I'd be too angry.
Anger for me, it's anger for us and family pain for us.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So, but the Suicide Forest, it would, because, even if you could, I don't know, for a place like that, could you get answers of, is it like something that draws them in, though, because there's a ranger that goes around. He's normally the one that,
finds them, and there is a sign at the beginning of it.
Yeah.
To say, don't think about it, don't do it, turn back, and so on.
Yeah. But there's people living their intent. So, how do they stay there? But there's so many others that don't. Is there, you know,
I
is
don't
there this
know.
legend? Or, you know?
I don't know. Mine has been the Vatican.
Oh, good answer.
I want to get
Yes, yeah.
into that place and find out, because I am, oh, the Lord Jesus, take the wheel. I want to get into the Vatican and I want to know stuff. I want to know you little some liars. I hold no mercy. I am that person who asks questions that shouldn't be asked. And I hold no, but let me tell you, I hold no bows. I would love to go to the Vatican. I have a lot of things. I have a lot of questions to ask. My daughter. I have a lot of questions to ask. I have a lot of stuff to ask. This whole can I say much? What time are we at? 11:10. And I'm gonna say it because this is my favorite subject, and I know people don't like it. Paranormal and religion. I just and I sat in the church today, my favorite church. Listen, yes, I did. I sat in St. Peter's Church. Yeah, the one I took you to. That's my favorite church. But it's my favorite church to go and sit in and to have peace for like 20 minutes. That's what I did. And my nails, I've got 666 on my nails, and I've got the satanic, and I'm like, and I was like hiding them, saying sorry. And I'm sitting in a church.
that church, I'm how can you sit in that? I'm not being funny, and like have peace when you've got a head staring at you.
No, Tracy, we're not doing that. No. Anybody who's watching this that wants to tell Tracy and give out to her, you have my permission to. No.
Burn, baby, burn.
Now you will see my face. Yeah. No, you can keep your kisses. You can keep your lady. No, I can be very real here if I want to, but I'm not going to. I could be very real, but I'm not going to. No. If you all knew the history of why St. Oliver Plunkett's head is in the church.
On a serious note.
Oh, let me tell you, Tracy, your head is going to be gotten for now after that. Let me tell you, your head is going to be gotten for after that. Oh, it is. If anybody's from Ireland, you can all do it.
She took me to this church and she was telling me the history, and she said about this head.
St. Oliver Plunkett's head. St. Oliver Plunkett.
And she said, the English cut it off. And I looked at the head in the box and I went,
no, he taught religion. He was teaching religion. And the English did not want him to teach religion. So they hung, drawn, and quartered him. And the Irish had taken his head back. Now, Tracy, let me tell you, if anybody here is watching this now from Ireland, you can PM her if you want to, because that's like a big no-no. I'm going to look back at this. I'm going to look at my face again. That's like a humongous no-no. Oh, the Lord. No.
It was when Jen took me to there as if to say, and I sort of like, I'm standing there and I'm like, well, I'm going to say sorry because I didn't do nothing. And then she was like, and over there you got the confession boxes. I went, they'll burn me.
I would have, if I had known that, I would have shoved it into one of them. I would have shoved it into one of them like that. It's like, that's no, Tracy. Oh, I tell you now, I'm not backing you up in this one when they come for you. I'm not backing you up, and I tell you now,
they can't come for me because I didn't do it.
I ain't backing you up after what you said. I am not backing you up, lady. I'm not backing you up.
We did it to the Scots as well, and they still married me, so don't worry about it, Jen.
I ain't backing you up. Let's sing especially for you.
I love that song.
So moving on swiftly.
What's that?
Tracy, I can't wait to look back at this. I'm going to look at my face going, did she?
I did.
Did she do that?
The thing is, she knows that I do it, like, not with, like.
You kind of shock me sometimes. That's the first time I think you've ever shocked me and made me stutter.
You
like
did
you did. You made me stutter with frustration. Like, the fuck? What the fuck? That's my place to go to sit in. I see Adam is laughing as well. How dare you, Adam? How dare you? You two are in trouble. I'm telling you, I'm coming over the 12th of November. Feck Redwood Castle. I'm coming.
You better get on this live after it's finished, mate. Back me up here.
Adam, don't you dare. You got friends in high places. Belfast and Ireland.
Oh, dearie me.
So, anyway, apart from that, Tracy Day, you're still in 20. Yes. But I hope you're still in 20. Yes, we should. Well, we should be. Oh, are we? Are we here in 20?
I don't know. I don't even know what time it is.
It's 11:16. It's 11:16. I have to give my daughter home medication. But when you do your seminars, Beth,
don't worry.
when you do your seminars, do you ever? Chris, like, have you ever seen me? Like, have you ever seen me stutter? Like, have you ever seen me stutter? And I know this microphone is new. So every time I whisper, it's going to pick it up. But I know I've actually stuttered. But
if it had been anybody else, mate, she would have been through the screen.
Oh my goodness gracious me! I'm shocked with that. Even I'm shocked. What was my question then? Oh yes, when you do seminars, how do you? Well, obviously yes. Like even I said tonight, you get nervous before you do it. Do you do a warm up before you do seminars? Do you have people in the audience to run your questions?
It depends on the event. It depends. Being somebody who's organised events, as well as being the person that's actually spoken at events. It's funny. I sort of started to organise events first before I really got into the whole speaking side and presenting side. So I kind of got a bit fussy because you get used to what should happen for people that are joining it, like an event sort of thing. So generally, I probably practice and read through my presentations probably about 6 weeks out from the actual event itself. Yeah, so it's almost like to the point where a slide will come up and I know exactly what I need to say. And
that's perfect.
Yeah, and it's just more natural and more kind of conversational. I love asking questions in the audience as well because I don't want to sit there and go blah 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 blah, and people are like, oh, has she finished yet? Like,
no, that's why I say I love people when they cross questions with what we do, like cross it. Oh my God, cross questions. That instead of like being the interviewer all the time, like throw questions out. Give questions to everybody as well.
That's exactly right. And it breaks it up and you get to understand the audience that you have in front of you for starters, and then you get to understand what level understanding they have with your content, and so then you can tailor what you're giving in the way that they would best understand it. And that's also good as well. That's a good educator / presenter should do that, if anything.
What has been the most of your audience that you've spoken to, like doing a live?
So doing live face-to-face, just me, was 150. On a panel, it was 350.
Wow.
So, and that was the Skeptics Convention in Australia.
Really?
Yes. I was the only paranormal person on the panel. And everyone was all hardcore skeptics, and I had 350 skeptics sitting in front of me, and I lived to tell the tale.
My gosh, I was like, what did they come hard for you? What was the worst question that they would have asked you?
It was probably one of the warmest, friendliest panel discussions I think I've ever had. I was so warmly welcomed because it was a healthy skepticism about it. So there's the healthy skeptic and there's the cynical one. We've got believers and skeptics. They've got cynical and they've got healthy sort of stuff. And there's a lot of healthy skepticism there. So they're like, well, the paranormal doesn't exist, but it's fun. Or someone's, one of the guys, one of the most well-known skeptics in Australia, Richard Saunders, is a massive fan of ufology. He thinks it's a load of crap, but he's fascinated by it, So that's what I like. Good skeptics that are generally interested in the paranormal, but and willing to kind of just have a bit of fun with it, but obviously are very sort of solid in their views, I guess you could say, but at least they enjoy it. And they're the best people to be around. And that's what it was like. I was expecting everything and anything. I was like, all my friends are going to like, are you sure? Do you want an entourage? Do you need security? Do you need a bulletproof vest? You can
like, bring it bloody on. Bring it on. Oh my gosh, there was a question there now. Oh my ufology.
Yes.
What do you think of it? Are you a believer, skeptic?
I think it'd be silly for us as individuals on this earth to think that we are the only people here or only things here, the only life forms here. I'm extremely open to the fact there's life on other planets. The universe is infinite, and I think it's silly to think that we've not had any contact of any type with anything so far. I've been to the edge of Area 51, not in Area 51, but
oh the Lord, you're here today, girl. You're here today.
And that was fun because I when I got there, because you only get to the edge, and then they say if you cross this line, we're going to come after you.
Basically. Yeah.
And,
they're all the trucks at the top.
It's the strangest experience in the world because it's in the middle of nowhere. It's just a dirt track, but there's an SUV that sits on the top of the mountain. And it follows you as you go around. So it's on a rotating plate, and it follows you around, and you get to the edge, and then we got out and we're like, okay, this is our boundary. And and you can see the wires, thin wires in the ground, in the shrubs that are listening in. You can hear the hum. So they know everything. They could probably hear a fart from a 10K radius. I'm telling you, it is bugged from here next year.
What is the big thing?
Oh, they're protecting something. They're protecting something.
But Jesus Louise, I mean, like, is there something that we can't bloody cope with?
I know.
I think we've progressed back in the 1940s, 50s when the world came out and whatnot, and we couldn't cope with it and frightened the life out of people. Now I know that movie did frighten me; the noise of them just frightened me. But I let me tell you, and I'll be honest about this. I know when I spoke about this before on Facebook, commenting to each other, we were shut down immediately because we were shut down. Facebook, if you're listening, I need a blurry camera here at one point. And they shut us down. Oh my God, we were talking about the presidency and I'm not going to say the president we were talking about, but we were shut down.
Yeah.
But people are sexing. But what are they bloody hiding? What are they hiding?
It'd be funny, not funny, but if someone did actually get in there, and there was actually nothing there. There's nothing.
Yeah.
Is it to frighten? Is it to frighten people?
I think there's just technology they're testing. I think there's technology they're testing that's very, very, they don't want anything to get out about it. But I think someone's gone, but it's aliens. And now there's the little alien cafe that's down the road. And,
I know.
Which I love. I went to it.
Did you go to it?
Yes.
Did you pick up a souvenir?
Yeah, of course. I've got little aliens on my
Yes, you did.
Of course I would. I've got an Area 51 number plate.
Oh no, I have an Area 51 cup that someone got for me when they were there. No. But do you think if these afterlife, not afterlife, gosh, afterlife now, these can we say the word aliens?
Yeah, ETs.
Why are they avoiding us? I mean, I'm not gonna. No, that's a clear answer why they're avoiding us. They know we are not the intelligent species. We are like burning in hell, all of us, for the crap that we're putting Earth through. But why are they kind of like, you see us? No, you don't. No, you do. No, you don't. What are they doing?
Oh, you don't know. If honestly, and as progressed as we are, as much as we can say when it comes to the possibility of a sort of an alien life form contact, it would still pretty much freak out a good chunk of the population. And I think that now you see it now.
You
wouldn't even be able to watch War of the Worlds.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. But I think every now and then there's one that goes a bit rogue or's had a bit too much of the wheel. If you get what I mean, he kind of crashes and misses it a bit.
No, but would that not be fun to say? I told you so. I remember I was on a show in New York about aliens and UFOs, or aliens and coffee, and we were about 1:15 in the afternoon for me. So we were talking about aliens, and I'm like, I don't know much about them. But then my memory came back to me by saying when I was younger, I would never look out my window at nighttime because I knew if they saw me looking, I know that they know and they know that I know. And I know that they know and that they know that I know. And we both know that we both know. So if they know that I know, they're going to say, going to beam me up. So, and I thought, Jesus, and I'd be looking at my curtain, and I'd be so afraid. I
And she
never
was
looked at my
like, "No."
window. I can't even do that. I can do it at this. No, this one a little bit. But it was kind of like I kind of knew something, but I didn't. But I knew if I looked at my window, they would see me looking out. And the movie, when I went to see the movie Signs in the cinema, I never had so many people at the front row laughing at me by screaming, make it stop when they banged the front door.
Yeah.
You can see them walking by the window. And anybody who didn't watch it, I'm sorry for ruining it. But they walked by the front door and banged it, and I'm screaming, make it stop, make it stop. But I had this horrible thing of being beamed up, and I'm not going to joke about it. I did. Okay, I had a horrible feeling about being beamed up because I have Reese's own negative blood, and I apparently have the alien blood, or part alien blood, as they say. That's it's less common, but I've heard of a new blood type that's rarer than mine is now. But and I looked it up, and apparently my blood types come from monkeys.
I'm saying nothing.
You all came from monkeys, sweetheart.
I know.
Wow.
But apparently I come from monkeys or aliens or whatever. I'm coming from a family of 11. I am the
How
only
do
one.
monkeys and aliens end up together?
I don't know.
Ask-
That's
yeah,
just
you-
that's just how I talk. I could be like Billy Connolly. I give one story and go into another one and join them together.
Well, we know that.
Yes, Chris, I am an alien. I feel like I'm an alien.
Tinat.
What?
I said he obviously hasn't seen your tinat when you start.
I have the picture here somewhere. I must put it up. I must put it up the next time. I
But
must put
what's it in?
I
War
must
of the
put yours
Worlds,
up.
isn't it? Go to War of the Worlds.
That, oh my God, that movie. What movie frightened you the most, Beth? What movie frightened you?
I have to say, Poltergeist. When it
Oh,
came
girl,
out,
I
it
know.
scared the bejeebies out of me. My mum banned me from seeing it. And then obviously I went to a friend's place.
This
and
house is clean.
it was like, it scared the crap out of me. But again, you know, I love it. It helped spur on my interest.
Crazy. Arms are long. But I think that pool scene was real skeletons, which is why, and I forget her name, and I should know, that her reaction was even more real because those skeletons were real. She did not know they were real, but they were real.
Yeah, yeah.
I think my one was not to frighten me. I wasn't scared of it, but the one that fascinated me the most because it still goes on was The Entity.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That one. I mean,
Yeah.
she still lives with that.
Oh, is that the one from, oh my gosh, is that the one where, oh my God, she lived with her two sons?
She had children with her, and
Let me tell you, that one was,
they tried to catch it, didn't they? They built up a big thing, like a replica of a house in a science lab.
yeah, oh my God, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tracy, I'm so with you on that one. That one just, that one just ruined me.
You know, forget
Ruined me
East
as
Drive,
child.
you know, all that crap. You know, that one for me.
Yeah, I'm with you.
is
I didn't
one
know
that's
that was your,
wow.
I didn't know that was your worst movie. That was mine.
No, not worse, but not.
Oh, that most.
Okay, the one that scares the shit out of me, believe it or not, is Jaws.
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah. Well, that's
What was the one with the movie where there was a family, and I always forget the name of it, a haunting, but there was a family, and they moved because of a job, but the mother and father moved in next door, and oh gosh, I can never. The Entity was the number one that just petrified me. This is another one where they had moved. There was newspapers and reporters and everybody at their house, and they got the priest in, and they got paranormal investigators in. It's from the 70s. It's a true story as well. I can never remember the name of it. No. It was a family. They moved into whatever estate, and then they moved into the mother and father lived next door. The mother would hear the couple fighting next door. I will come out. I know that sounds crap what I'm talking about, but I will come up with the name of it. I just can't remember it right now. I can't remember it, but it frightened the bejesus out of me. And there's 2 movies, The Entity and that one.
So the Entity for me is the scientific side of it, and they try to, how they recreated it and the electric static, and it's just like mind blowing to think that she still lives with that.
Yeah.
Does she still live with it to this day?
Yeah, it's still
What?
not as intense, but it still does go on. Yeah.
My table just tapped there, and I'm thinking, oh my God, my table just tapped.
Yeah, for me, that's the one, because it's even the way they recreated in that environment, they recreated it to do it. It was just like,
could you imagine? Oh my, like it followed her everywhere.
Everywhere.
Like what the frick?
Even the children, didn't it? It was even the children. Because she had son and daughter, wasn't it? Son or 2 daughters or something.
I don't know. I can't remember.
But yeah,
2 or 3 children, didn't she?
Yeah, but that one for me, that was wow.
Yeah, I didn't know that movie frightened you.
No, don't frighten me.
Oh, it frightens the bloody hell out of me.
Yours frightens the shit out of me, mate. That theme tune comes on, I'm gone.
I don't mind.
Oh, I know. I got really brave one the other week, and I said to her, I'll try and watch it. Right, it's like they're all brave, and the music started. I was like, that's it, gone.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Why?
Just a trigger from setting me off. I just remember when I was a kid, like certain things, and just I always remember.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I just can't. Yeah.
Like shit. I did not know that. I did not know The Entity was your one that you didn't like. Not that you did. You're okay with it, but it's the one that I'm not okay with.
Yeah.
No, I'm not about that.
Me.
Adam is working. I'm here at work watching y'all.
Oh.
Adam, tell everyone we said hi from the UK and Ireland. Tell everyone we said hi. Tell them why are you not watching us?
Yeah.
Oh, should they not know that you're watching us in work, Adam?
Oh, they've been naughty.
Adam Ramos.
Covered.
What time is it now? Oh gosh, it's 25 to 12. I didn't know because there's another one on before. Well, there's Mr. Jeremy York is in the house. Huh?
Hello.
There's Jeremy. Jeremy, how you doing? How you keeping? We are just about almost to come off. We're almost going to come up. It's a Friday night. I keep thinking it's Saturday night, but it's Friday night. It's Friday night. Beth.
Yes.
Where can people find you on Facebook? I mean, we can stay for another 20 minutes if you all want.
Oh, I'm going to have to head off soonish, I think.
Yeah, because I've also her medication. But where can people find you on?
On Facebook, on our fabulous social media interwebs. Yes, obviously Facebook, Access Paranormal on the page, or myself, Beth Darlington. I've got my website, accessparanormal.com. It's right there. So that's like a great place. That's it. I'm on Twitter as well. There's some great little videos there, information, little methods, ideas, things to help people with investigating and great.
I'm going to be following you on Twitter. Wow. I love Twitter. I do love Twitter, so I'm going to be following you. But you got to do one thing before we go.
What?
You got to sing Kylie Minogue.
So, especially for you.
I was like, for to sing, I should be so lucky.
I should be so lucky.
Who's the guy? Oh, the woman that I love. He wears all the glasses. I love him.
Guy Midna.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Oh my God. I love him. I love.
Oh, he's so much fun. Oh, darling.
I love him. I love his glasses. Yeah. Keep saying I'm new to this podcast. Where are you all from? I'm in Florida, USA. But I'm in Ireland. I am from Ireland. I'm the founder of Emerald Isle, not Emerald Paranormal Research. From that, Shadow Whispers in the Night. Shadow Whispers in the Night. So I'm from Ireland. Tracy, what'd you say?
You said I'm from Emmerdale Paranormal. I was like, what?
What's your face? No, I didn't. I said.
You wait till you watch that.
I said Emerald Isle. I didn't say Emmerdale. I said Emerald. Shut up, Tracy. Do you know what? I said.
Watch it back.
No.
You did.
No. No, I did. I said Emerald Isle.
You did when you started. You said Emmerdale.
I had chiropractor on my back today, and they said you're going to feel a little bit weird after, Jenny. I think it's working. But anyway, I said Emerald Isle. But anyway, I'm from Ireland. Keith, Tracy.
I'm from London, England.
And
I'm
Beth.
from Sydney, Australia.
Throwing out a shrimp on the barbie.
On the Barbie. But currently living in the UK as well.
Adam is going to send you a request.
Please do,
Tracy,
mate,
could you say mum again?
Mum?
Mum?
Me mum? Me mother?
Oh, we say ma. Where's me ma?
No, mum. And if it's the other, it's me daddy. Me daddy. Mum.
Well, I'm not going to tell you what I call mine, so let's not do that one.
Yeah,
I'm looking for a song. I want to play a song of Kylie Minogue and look, she's gonna Betta's gonna call my Beth.
Nice.
Right, we are going to feck off here, as we say in Ireland. We're going to feck off here, as we say in Ireland.
Bugger off.
What do you say? Bugger off. We say feck off.
I really bugger off.
What do you say, Beth?
We say bugger off as well. Yeah, we stole it from the UK.
Do you? We say feck off, and people say it. People think that we kind of saying something else. Adam, not the way you say it.
It's recording. It's just to hear me keep saying mum.
She can voicemail you, Adam, and she can keep saying mum.
Mum.
Yeah, but no, but mum.
You know, mum. All the catchphrases.
I can't.
Oh,
I just
Jesus.
can't. My jaws are sore. Gosh, it's like bloody. I feel like it's a Saturday night, but it's not.
No, it's Friday.
Any questions we have left? Any questions? Beth, do you have any questions for myself and Tracy? Tracy?
Nothing I can think of right now. No.
Any questions for me and Beth, Tracy?
Yeah, because I've worked with both of you. I get to go to Beth again too.
Oh, my back is up. Oh my goodness, my back is killing me. I had work done on my back this morning. Oh my gosh, geez Louise, it's not great. It's not great. But anyhow, yeah, I know I'm going to moan. I better get up before I stop moaning. I'm looking for the right thing. Clip you around the ear hole.
Yeah, give you a clip around the ear roll. Punch out the bracket.
What did you say?
I said, yeah, you say clip around the ear roll or punch up the bracket.
What does that mean?
Clip around the ear. Slap. Punch. Gonna get punched. Punch the bracket.
Oh, Jesus, that microphone is going to be the death of me. I swear to God. You can catch everything that I'm saying on it now. I think I'll just go back to the website, the web bloody camera thingamajiggy Jew. Oh, Lord. Now, you see, me and Tracy are going to get giddy now.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
This is when us two start.
Okay, I'm looking, Jesus, I keep clicking these buttons. I'm like, what button am I looking for to click? Right, we're going to go now because it is 20 to 12.
Yes.
On a Friday night. It is 20 to 12. We had fun. Beth, would you come back on?
Because of course I would. I would love to.
We have more to talk about, and I have everything written out, even more of the questions that I want to know. I mean, you kind of surprised me in your location that you have been to, the one that like Chernobyl is like, oh, Chantal, girl. Jesus, Louise. Well, just about to come off, lady. Oh, my God. Chantal, do you want to do a video call after this? Chantal, I send you the link. Do you want to come on video? do a video with us, Chantal.
Thanks, Chris.
Love you, Ray, Adam Ramos.
Chrissy,
What
you
is
coming on
wrong
it?
with me tonight?
Chrissy,
Thanks, Chris. Huh?
I said, is Chris coming out with us on the 12th? Is he interested?
Is Chris going out on the 12th with you?
Chris Cole.
Yeah, is he going out in the night? The
I
12th?
don't know if he's coming. Hope so.
Oh, Chantal.
Yeah, all to work. Yeah.
Chantal's in South Africa. So she's getting late. Right, guys.
Oh, Chris, I'll message her.
Okay.
Okay.
So is Chris going out with you? Yeah.
He just said
You're
he's
gonna
not
message.
okay. I'll message him, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to say good night. We're going to say thank you for everyone who watched in. Thank you, Chantal. Thank you, my love. Thank you, Tan. Thank you so much for listening, watching, commenting, watching us three. Beth, it was an honor to have you on with us. It was an honor to have you on. I mean, I want to know a lot more. I want to know stuff that you can't say on the live.
Beth is just one of those people that you can listen to for hours because she's just so inspirational. Honestly,
I want. Oh my dog crying. What? Okay, Sasha, hold on. This is my dog when she wants to go out.
Sasha,
she's making me move. She's making me twist my back. Do you want to go outside for wee wees? There you go. She was crying in the background. But Beth, would you come back on again and chat more with us and get into the nitty-gritty of more stuff? Because
I would love to.
We only just touched into little bits of. Are you finished?
Are you talking to me?
That's an ear. Great. Did you finish? Mommy help you?
That was quick.
Mommy help you? No, you cannot sit on me. No. So she wants to sit off of me. Sasha, then you go, my lovey. Oh, I just. Right, my love. Huh?
I said we better let Beth go.
Yes, right here. Okay, Beth. Listen, thank you so much. We'll chat again tomorrow in the next few days and arrange to come back on before Christmas.
Yeah, definitely.
That'd be great. Thank you so much to everyone who listened, watched, tuned in. I'm out tomorrow night investigation, but we're back on Sunday night.
We
for the Halloween special. Myself and Tracy.
love. We've got fancy dress.
We have no idea what we're dressing up as.
Oh.
That'll be fun. So we're going to say goodnight. I'm going to take us out of here, play the background, and then we'll talk to you all later in a while.
Good night.
Good night.
See ya.